Hi everyone, it's David from Southside Detail. In front of me I have this 2014 Honda Civic. As you see, it's gonna need a lot of work. We'll be doing a full paint correction, ceramic coating, doing a full interior detail, and ceramic coating a lot of those interior parts too. So we're gonna get this interior and this exterior looking really good. Like I said, it's gonna need a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it's gonna end up looking a lot better like a new car.
So taking a look up close at the Civic, you can see overall paint's looking really dull and aged. You can see all the contaminants in the front bumper. The headlights are looking cloudy, and check out all those swirls on the hood. You can see this paint's heavily oxidized. And again, a lot of contaminants are on the paint, so it's going to need a real deep decon wash and a polishing to bring this paint back to life. And again, in the sunlight, check out those swirls right there in the sunlight. Those are a lot of micro scratches that prevent this paint from looking glossy and have that depth of color like it did when it was new. You can see here you got some bird droppings on the paint. Again, it'll need to be deeply cleaned. And then we have a scuff mark down on the bottom here from something rubbing against the paint. And then we check out the interior. It's going to need a deep cleaning as well. You see the door jambs are really dirty. A lot of contaminants. And these WeatherTech floor mats are looking really dirty as well. They'll need to be pressure wash cleaned. And check out the carpets. You can see there's a lot of hair and other buildups of pet hair as well. And just a lot of dirt and dust. That'll need to be thoroughly blown out with compressed air and vacuumed. A lot of dust buildup here on the radio and the buttons. Here in the storage area, we got some soiling. Cup holders looking dirty. Looks like there was a spill in between the center console and on the handbrake. And then as well on the floor sills, you can see these fabric seats will need to be vacuumed. And there is some soiling as well on the fabric. And in the back seat, very similar to the front seat, we got a lot of debris that's built up over time on the seats that'll need to be vacuumed. And we do got some soiling here on the bottom fabric as well. We'll pressure wash clean this rear cargo mat from WeatherTech. Some soiling on the door panels. And the passenger seat has the most soiling on the seats. As you see, looks like it was a spill of some type of drink. So definitely need to be shampooed and extracted.
Now that you saw the condition of the interior, I'll start by removing the floor mats. So as you see, I moved the seat all the way back. And we just turn these little knobs here. I already got them undone. And I like to be really careful because a lot of times these collect a lot of dirt and sand and gravel, whatever it may be. I don't want to add it to the carpet and add more work for myself. So take it out here. Take a look at the floor with the WeatherTech's removed. You can see WeatherTech's do a pretty good job of covering the middle, but anywhere around the edges are still going to collect dirt and look really dirty. So you can see here some hair collecting, dirt and gravel, and any spills from food or drinks or whatever it may be. So the first step of cleaning these WeatherTech mats, I got some all-purpose cleaner. Like this driver's side, it's pretty bad. What I'm gonna do is pre-treat it with some all-purpose cleaner. So like this with my all-purpose cleaner and a sprayer. Go ahead and apply this all-purpose cleaner. And now I got my drill brush. This does a good job of getting into that hard plastic of these WeatherTech mats and start breaking down that dirt. So here you go, I'm gonna start agitating this floor mat. So I got my pressure washer gun set up and we'll go ahead and rinse off all the soap. So you can see they look better already, just rinsed off. Look how clean it looks now. So I'll put these aside and let them dry. All right, the next step to the interior detail process is getting these door jambs clean. So I'll go ahead and I like to spray and just go ahead and aim it just on the outside. So make sure the spray panner's going mostly on the outside of the door. Obviously, I don't want to hit the door. And then we'll spray underneath. So now that we rinsed it already with some water, go ahead and spray some all-purpose cleaner into my brush and onto the door itself. So I like to get inside these rubber seals because a lot of dirt likes to collect and hide inside here. So if you don't get that, it's just something that's going to stand out to the overall appearance again of the detail. Might as well clean that inside these hinges too. So get the bottom parts here. Now we're going to aim here in between
the hinges where the door meets the fender. That gets really dirty, got a lot of leaves and dirt. So here it's good, and it's important to get inside with that pressure washer gun. Check out how dirty all that is. Looks so nasty. But with the rinse, it'll improve it right away. So I'll go ahead and grab my all-purpose cleaner again, give it a spray, and inside these hinges as well. So I got my brush, get it all inside there. Same goes for this side here. And now rinse. Rinse this area too. So I'll be cleaning the door jambs the same exact way for the rest of the car, including the trunk jambs. Start working the interior. So you see here with my air gun, I'm gonna blow out all the little crevices like your air vents, inside and between the steering wheel, all along the dashboard. This air gun's gonna do a good job of blowing out all that debris. So I'm gonna blow out the steering wheel. And you can see a lot of dust flying in the air and debris. So next I'm gonna begin vacuuming. As you see here, there's a lot of loose debris for the carpet on the driver's side. So I'm gonna vacuum this whole area and again blow it out. And as I begin vacuuming this side, the passenger side, I make sure to move the seats all the way back and move the top part all the way back as far as I can. It's like I reach inside here because there's always crumbs, hair, pet hair, whatever it may be that collects inside between the seats that can be easily missed. And I like to fold up the bolster here and bring it back in between the seams. I use compressed air and a vacuum to make sure I don't miss any spots or crumbs. Because as you can see, there's a lot of soiling on these seats that'll need to be addressed with the shampoos that I'll be using. All right, so now I'm going to the back of the car here, the rear seats, and you can see the seats have a lot of crumbs. This is the cleaner I'll use for the interior. It's P&S interior cleaner. So it's a safe cleaner for pretty much all your vinyls, plastics, and even leather. So I got my interior scrub pad. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it right into the scrub pad. So I'll start top to bottom. And you can already see, as I agitate the surface, I get the suds from the interior cleaner. And this interior cleaner does a good job of course, cleaning and at least behind a nice factory matte OEM appearance. And give you an example of how it finishes out. As you can see, this whole section here, look, I just cleaned it. It looks a lot cleaner, and it dries down to a nice matte appearance. Get inside this door panel here. Scrub this area, this gray beige area. So now with this brush, it's going to do a good job of getting inside these switches. Open this handle here, get inside the front and back of it, and then this fabric part, I'll use a different cleaner to clean it, either a steamer, or when I'm cleaning the carpets and seats, I'll be using my drill brush to get that. So I'll be returning to this section. Go ahead and just spray directly onto the plastic and let this cleaner start working, including here, onto the door sill. And I'll start spraying the brake pedal and the gas pedal and the area where you rest your foot and the trunk release or the hood release. And I'll start cleaning the door sills. And again, this plastic part of the seat, this gets really dirty, gotta lift the handles too. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my brush and I'll start getting between these seams here of these rubber seals. And then I move on to cleaning the footrest here, the brake pedal and gas pedal with the brush, and I mop up the cleaner and blow out the remaining residue. And I do the same process here with the steering wheel and the rest of the control stalks. So I got my scrub pad and my different brushes with my interior cleaner, and then I'll apply it onto the steering wheel as you see here. And I'll build a lather with this interior cleaner into the steering wheel. And I make sure to get all the parts back here. I'm gonna make sure I'm thorough and this brush gets in these tight areas where that scrub pad wasn't able to. So now I just grab my microfiber towel and wipe down that interior cleaner. I already pre-treated this area with cleaner inside the cup holders. I like to do that because these usually do get really dirty just from drinks and food. Lift this cover here and spray more. Get inside there with the e-brake. Spray it directly onto my scrub head. And then start agitating again
along this area. You can even start getting with the shifter here and start cleaning all these plastics. Then with my brush, I'll go ahead and clean down in here and all along the edges and these seams where food and dirt can't collect, and in between the e-brake as well. So grab my towel, start wiping down the cleaner, and I continue cleaning the interior. As you see here, clean inside the radio and those buttons and blow out all the interior cleaner. Clean the rear view mirror and the interior glass to make sure there's no streaks left behind. Next step now, I'm going to move to all the upholstery, so all the fabrics in this car. So here with my light on, you can see just a faint line, just some soiling. That's pretty easy to clean up right here too. Armrest is looking pretty good, so I won't need anything crazy. But first I'll attack it with Terminator. This is a good enzyme cleaner. Start breaking down any organic material that could be on there. So I'll let that sit in there. Then I'll follow up with Carpet Bomber. It's another cleaner to break down any additional soiling. Now with my drill brush, I'll gently start agitating this area and all along the armrest here. See, these are soft bristles, doesn't hurt the fabric at all. And now with my dry cloth, I go ahead and mop it up. It's an important step because what that does, what I just did, it raises any of that dirt or soiling to the top where I can wipe it off with my microfiber towel. Final step is to finish it with the peroxide. What this will do, it'll neutralize any cleaners. So now if your hands are dirty, it's not going to continue cleaning, and now your fabrics are dirty again. It also does a good job at odor neutralizing too. Just needs a light spritz. All right, so as you see, we got some soiling over here and the bottom of the seat. What I'm gonna do is pre-treat that area with the enzyme cleaner from P&S Terminator. So go ahead and spray it here. And then also here as well. And then with the Carpet Bomber, this is another upholstery cleaner. It's the second step, so they work together. So go ahead and apply it to the whole bottom here of this seat. All right, now that I applied the cleaner, I'm gonna go ahead and agitate this bottom portion of the seat. And now I grab a microfiber towel and start mopping up the seat. All right, so you see the top of the seat looks pretty clean. It's not gonna need a lot of cleaner. So what we'll do is get this little area here, a little bit of soiling. Use some Terminator, and then grab my drill brush and get that area cleaned. And follow up with a dry towel and mop it up. And then the whole seat itself, what I'll do, since it's relatively clean, go ahead and grab my Carpet Bomber, spray into my towel, and just wipe the seat. Don't need to introduce more cleaners if it's not needed. All right, because this bottom seat has some heavy soiling, I'm gonna use my carpet extractor, and it's gonna add some shampoo and remove any additional moisture to get us a final good result so those stains don't come back. And here with the carpet extractor, I'm picking up any residual cleaners I might have left in the seat, and also getting the remaining soiling out of the fabric so it doesn't come back once it dries. Then I apply the peroxide finisher, I move on to the carpets and mop up the carpets, and I move on to the back seats. Similar process goes here for the fabric seats in the back with the drill brush, and then I extract the cleaner once again. And this will also help the fabric in the seats dry faster. Here in the armrest, there's some soiling. Same process again with the drill brush. Remove the soiling, you can see it makes a big difference right away. And then I follow up with a steamer. And then my extractor to remove any residual moisture. All right, so the interior is all done in this Honda Civic. Now we're gonna work on the exterior. I got the hood open. You'll see the engine's really dirty. I'll show you close up the condition. So I'll start with the engine cleaning, get it all cleaned up. There's a lot of leaves in this windshield cowl that I'll blow out with some compressed air, and then I'll start pressure washing it and using an all-purpose cleaner to get inside this engine bay. Once I start washing, I'll be using this clay mitt. It's got a synthetic clay material. And what that'll do, it'll remove any embedded contaminants that are on the paint, especially this one. It's been a while since it's been clayed. So what that's gonna do is gonna get the paint nice and cleansed and ready to be polished, and of course ceramic coated. All right, so take a look here. First off the top of the hood, you can see how dirty it is. It's really grimy. Gonna need to get in there with some different brushes and clean it out. And of course the engine's looking really dirty. Got some leaks collecting in the windshield cowl. And then I got the alternator covered up here with a plastic bag. It's the main thing you want to cover up. If there's an open air intake, I'll cover that up, but not on this car. It's a stock air box, so everything else is pretty much closed off. You can see here, a lot of gravel and stuff, so what I'm going to do is use some compressed air and blow out anything that's loose, and then I'll start pressure washing, cleaning this engine bay. So I start by blowing out any loose debris, like the leaves and twigs and gravel that you saw that sitting in the engine block. And then I start rinsing the whole engine bay with the pressure washer from top to bottom, working on the top of the hood. Then I apply my all-purpose cleaner here with my foamer. I start having that cleaner get to work and break down all that old grease and grime. And then with my brush, I can really get inside those grooves underneath the hood and start removing all that dirt. And then I follow that up here with a wash mitt to really make sure it's clean before I move on to the rest of the engine bay. And I don't want to forget about the windshield cowl, because a lot of dirt starts to collect inside the plastic as well. And then I rinse, move on to the engine, rinse all the plastics in the engine. As long as I'm keeping a safe distance, there's no harm done to the engine here, especially that I have the sensitive part covered up like the alternator. And then I apply the all-purpose cleaner. And again, back with my brush, getting into all the areas that I can with this first brush to get the majority of the work done. Break down all that dirt and grime. And then here with the smaller brush, it's got a stiff bristle to get inside the tighter areas that bigger brush could not fit. And again, this is all about the details here, making sure I don't forget any areas. And then I rinse off the APC, the all-purpose cleaner, and now I apply a dressing and just give that nice final touch once the engine dries up. Then I move on to cleaning inside here the wheel wells with the pressure washer. And then I clean the wheels and tires again with an all-purpose cleaner. And use a brush inside the grooves and the lug nuts. And then I brush the tires. The wheels all cleaned up, I start rinsing the body. Remove any dirt or dust that could be sitting on the car. I apply a bug remover to start breaking down those bug guts, because sometimes the bugs, if they sit in the paint too long, can be very difficult to remove, so the bug remover helps in that process to remove those bugs. I apply my shampoo here and apply an all-purpose cleaner to the lower areas of the car that get really dirty, so I can help break down dirt on those lower areas. And I start washing here with a contact wash with my wash mitt, working top to bottom and making sure I'm getting a real deep clean here, because I will be polishing the paint next here. A brush works good for those grooves and those areas along the window trim. Same here goes for the gas cap area. Don't want to forget underneath the car and the lower areas you see here and the emblems. Now I have a clay mitt. The synthetic clay material breaks down the contaminants in the paint, and I use an iron remover. Check it out. You can see some areas, you can see that purple area. That's the chemical breaking down the metal particles that are in the paint, mainly from brake dust when you're driving, especially a daily driver like this, and it's a light colored car, so it'll appear like orange spots in your paint, and this chemical is helping break that down. That's really important because that takes away from the overall look of the car. It's a contaminant, you don't want it in your car's paint, and it's going to be a good thing to remove before I start polishing the paint and I seal it with that ceramic coating as the final step. And again, with this clay mitt, it's breaking down those contaminants. Basically, it's like exfoliating your paint. This is a great thing to do to take care of your car, especially if you have not done it in a while. Again, it's a deep cleanse for the paint. It's going to bring back a lot more depth of color and shine just from this one step. Again, take a look at all these iron spots being removed. You can see the chemical changing colors. And this whole process, again, is going to brighten the paint and leave it feeling a lot smoother.
These headlights benefit as well from this clay material, and it clears them up, making them look new again. There's a lot of contaminants on front bumpers, especially this one. And then I do a final rinse to remove all the chemicals and soap. I dry it here with microfiber towels and making sure it's thoroughly dry with an air blower, especially the front grille and those mirrors. Here I also clay the door jambs and trunk jambs because they have not been cleaned in a long time, so a lot of contaminants started to embed themselves into the paint. So now that the car's fully decontaminated and washed, it's all dried, ready to go, ready to start polishing now. So I'm going to start with the Rupes DA Fine Polish and their medium wool pad. And that'll give me a good idea as far as in the middle, as far as how much polishing I need to go. Usually with this one pad and this polish, we can get really good results. This is a daily driver and we're not looking to get the paint perfect, but obviously we're looking to get a significant difference in the paint. So I'm going to show you up close what we're looking at in the condition of the paint before I start polishing. Oh, you should be able to see up close all these light swirls in the paint. And if you see here with that scan grip light, you follow that light, that beam of light right here, you can see the swirl marks follow that light as I move this camera. And so this is the condition of the paint throughout the whole car. And here's what my light again. See if the camera picks it up. Yeah, you should be able to tell. These marks here on the paint, these are just rock chips. This car has over 120,000 miles. It's a 2014. That's going to be normal for a daily driver. Can't do much about that other than filling in with some touch-up paint after. But you can see here, there's a lot of swirl marks. We're not just going after these swirl marks. Some are going to happen over time on cars, even new ones. But what we want to do mainly is significantly improve the gloss and the clarity in the paint. So by removing these swirl marks, you're going to notice the color comes back in that depth of shine, like the day you bought the car. All right, so I'm going to work this section here, so it's a good angle from the camera, and you can see in the light still where I'm working. So I'm going to do about this section of the hood here. And again, I'm going to use this wool pad and a DA Fine Polish from Rupes, and it'll give us an idea of what the results we're going to get with this one combination. So we go ahead and load the pad here with some polish. Don't need too much. Then I'm going to go ahead and spread out the polish onto the paint. So I'll spread out the polish on a low speed setting on the polisher. All right, now that I got the polish on the paint itself, I'm going to start polishing. I'll do it on about speed setting 3.5. That's a good setting. And I'll do about 3 passes, you'll see, and overlapping each pass as I go. So that was the first pass. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the second pass, but this time I'm going to go in a different direction. All right, so I'm going to wipe off the polish and see the results. All right, so I got my scan grip light. This will help me see any remaining flaws that could be in the paint and areas that may need to be touched up, but just looking initially, wow, what a significant improvement. And I'm going to show you up close here. So take a look. Follow that scan grip light and you can see just how much glossier the paint looks. So much better. You see there? I stopped in this section here. So if you follow the light, you can start to see the swirls come back because I have not done that section yet, of course. We'll follow the scan grip light again and you can see the section where I just polished. So these are true results. Nothing's being hidden here. This is a true paint correction polish. This is just one step. A lot of times I recommend a one step, especially if it's just a daily car. You can get really good results out of one step. And if you see the paint here, look at that difference when I cross over. So much gloss here, and I cross over, it's a lot more dull, and you got all these swirls. Back over here, a lot more improved gloss. Now that I figured out the good combination as far as passes, speed, technique, and the pad and polish combination, I can use that same exact combination on the rest of the car, and I'll be getting those same results throughout the car. And as you see here, I continue polishing the rest of the hood with the same combination, with the same pad and technique. And we get those same results, and that gloss and that color depth is restored for this Honda Civic. Check out that scuff mark here on the lower area of this front bumper. This is a nice satisfying result. You can see with my polisher in 2 steps, that residue, whatever rubbed against the paint, is removed. That definitely makes a big improvement for the appearance of this front bumper. And you see there, 100% defect removal for that scuff mark. Again, I continue moving on here, removing all those contaminants from the front bumper and leaving behind a brighter white color. And I hand polish here the metal parts like the front grille. That makes a nice difference. Again, it's all about the details here, and same goes for this Honda emblem. With this polisher, it's a bigger pad versus the 15mm you saw me using. This will cover more area, like a big flat roof, like this Honda Civic or an SUV. So it's a new pad. So I'm gonna add some polish, a little more than usual, just so I can cover the whole area of the pad. Don't need too much. So I'm gonna spread this polish out so I can cover a really large area like this flat roof and get it done in really quick time, but still deliver good results. So already just by wiping it off, I can see an improvement in that gloss and that bright white come out again, so it doesn't look faded or old. Even though this car's 10 years old, doesn't mean the paint can't look really good. A good polish and then protecting it later, like that ceramic coating, is gonna ensure this paint's gonna look good for the long run. Let's put our light onto it. And incredible. So I'll show you up close here. Follow the light. It's amazing, look how clear that looks. I was able to cover such a large space because that 21mm polisher is such a powerful polisher. It can cover a big area in a short amount of time. Now if we come over to the side of the roof I have not done, take a look at these swirl marks now again. It's faded, doesn't look as bright of a white color, not as glossy. Should be evident. I know it's white paint, but you should still see a lot of those defects in the paint. If we come right over to this side, wow, big difference. So you see here, I continue that same process on the trunk deck. And then I move on to here to the taillights. You can see all these swirls in the taillights, and it's causing it to look old and faded. These can be polished too. So you see here, I start polishing again with that same pad and polish combination, and then follow it up here with a more refined polishing pad, a foam pad, and you can see right away. Look at that gloss and a deep red look to it. It makes these taillights look brand new. These little details like the headlights all add up to make the car look new and presentable again. And I finish up here polishing the door jambs. This is Gtechniq panel wipe. I'm just gonna go ahead and thoroughly cleanse the paint, use some microfiber towels, some clean towels, and get this paint cleaned up and ready for the coating. Again, this is removing any oils from the paint so we can make sure that ceramic coating that we're going to be applying to this car adheres to the paint. And I'll be using Gtechniq Crystal Serum Light and Gtechniq XOV5 as the topper. Now that the paint's all prepped, wiped it down with panel wipe from Gtechniq, I'm ready to go ahead and start ceramic coating the car. So it's a 2-layer ceramic coating I'll be doing. First is Gtechniq Crystal Serum Light. So this is a pretty cool box it comes in. We open up this guy. Here's the bottle. This is the pipette I'll be using to apply the ceramic coating to the applicator. So I'll be using 3 towels to wipe off the coating. A ceramic coating creates a semi-permanent bond to the paint, so I want to make sure all of it's gone and we don't leave any high spots behind. So I got this fresh applicator. Just go ahead and unscrew the pipette. I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze a little bit. You can see got all that fresh coating, and it's gonna apply some drops here. And because this is the first application on this applicator, it's going to soak it a little more. And that'll be enough to get my first section done. I'm going to go ahead and work in sections. So I'll do about this whole section of the hood here. So you'll see as I apply, it's a pretty straightforward process. I apply crosshatch patterns, give it about 60 seconds. Once it starts sweating, I'll go ahead and wipe it off. And with a ceramic coating, it just feels so slick immediately as I start applying. So now I'm gonna make sure I cover this whole area evenly. And I'll show you up close how this ceramic coating looks on the paint. You should be able to see. And it's already starting to sweat a little. I got 2 air conditioners running in this garage to keep the humidity low. Now it's starting to sweat or bead. I'm ready to wipe it off. So my initial wipe, I'm just gonna go in a slower, very smooth, full wipe here. I'm not trying to push into other sections because what that can do is push the coating to, say, the other side of the hood, and if I forget, it can leave a high spot. But what's awesome about wiping off a ceramic coating, especially the Gtechniq Crystal Serum Light that I use, immediately I start to feel how smooth it is. It leaves the paint really slick, so you can already see. But the towel wants to slide off the hood. That's a good sign. That's a ceramic coating is already bonding to the paint, and that's all the prep work that we just did before. I'm gonna move on to the other section of the hood and continue that same process on the rest of the car, and then I'll move on to the Gtechniq EXO V5 immediately after the second ceramic coating. So as you see here, again, I work in straight lines, and I cover the area again in crosshatch patterns just to make sure it's evenly covered, and again using 3 towels to completely level the coating. And I move on to the rest of the Civic and ceramic coating the roof. Next, I apply Gtechniq EXO V5. This is the second layer coating that goes on top of that first ceramic coating I applied. What I love about EXO V5, it's a very slick ceramic coating. So it makes the paint very hydrophobic when it rains or when you're washing your car. And it adds to that dirt repellency as well to keep your car cleaner longer. And again, check out that coating start to cure. So when it sweats up like that, it means it's time to wipe off. And again, it's super slick underneath the towel when I wipe off here with my 3 towels. And I make sure to protect the door jambs because door jambs get very dirty over time. So I ceramic coat these as well. I then finish up by cleaning the exterior glass. All right, now I'm ready to apply the interior ceramic to this door panel or this door card. So again, this is DIY Detail Interior Ceramic. So I got my applicator pad here, and I'll just spray some onto the applicator. So I'll just apply it to completely to the whole door card. And after I'm done in this section, I'll just wipe it down. Same thing like the paint coating, so I don't leave any high spots behind. But I'm just gonna apply it all over here, especially to the areas that we touch a lot. And this is gonna protect this interior from fading and from staining. I'm also gonna apply it to this cloth section here too. I'll show you how to do that. I'm gonna let the coating sit for a little bit. So now I'm gonna wipe down this interior ceramic coating. As you can see, it leaves behind a nice matte finish. All right, now for the fabric part, I'm just gonna take the interior ceramic and spray directly onto the surface. And I'll take my same applicator and just work it in. And now this part's protected. It'll dry to an even finish and doesn't change the texture or the look. So now I'm gonna apply it here to the steering wheel. Again, just spray it right into my applicator pad. And now all onto the steering wheel. Steering wheel, of course, is a high touch area. It can get really dirty over time. I could do it all over all the buttons. And here the turn signal, stalks, these get really dirty. You can drop the steering wheel and get into the back. And it's gonna help keep the steering wheel clean. And in case it does get dirty, it'll be a lot easier to clean going forward. So I'm just gonna apply it all over to the dashboard. And it's going to be really beneficial to avoid the UV rays wearing down on this dashboard and just all that dust that collects on dashboards all the time. Apply it here all to the center console, storage area here, the shifter. I can put a little more because the cup holders are going to be really important. If we have any spills, it'll be easier to clean up. So now with these cloth fabric seats, I'm going to apply the interior coating directly onto the fabric. So we'll give it some spritz. So this is going to protect
these seats from staining. If any spills, it'll help repel any liquid or any other stainings like dirt and food. So now I can just work in this coating with the applicator pad I've been using. All right, now I'm in the back seat. We'll do the same thing with the seats. Spray directly onto the seat. For the carpet, same thing. Just go ahead and spray directly into the carpets. Again, I just work it into the fabric to make sure it's evenly distributed. Now the WeatherTech mats are looking a little faded. They're clean. They start to wear and lose their coating that they came with from factory. So I use Gtechniq Gumi Fix. This is a non-slip dressing, so it's not going to make it slippery, and it's safe for all plastics and rubber in your car, and they work perfect for these WeatherTech mats. So I just apply it to my applicators. You can see immediately it starts to darken these WeatherTech mats, and it makes them look like new. So this is a great way to restore your WeatherTech mats after you clean them. And as you can see, these WeatherTechs look a lot better now.
Now check it out, this Honda Civic's all done. Wow, take a look at that paint. Just popping now. You can see that color. It's got a bright white color to it now. Compared to the beginning, it was very faded and oxidized. The paint just looked old and dull. Now it has a lot more clarity. And again, that depth of color is back. Gloss. And look at those taillights. They look like new. Has a lot more gloss to it as well. And a deep red shade to the taillights as well. So again, this was polished and ceramic coated with 2 layers of Gtechniq ceramic coatings. So now it is protected for 5 years. Again, just take a look at that paint in the sunlight. A lot of those scratches and swirl marks were removed, and now we have a lot more clarity restored into the paint. This paint is brought back to life. The headlights make a huge difference as well. These headlights no longer look dull. Now check out the engine bay. Again, a big significant night and day difference. It looks like the engine bay was never cleaned. Again, this car is 10 years old, and I'll check it out now. A big difference here with that engine bay cleaning, and that just adds to the overall appearance of the exterior and interior. And I'm moving into the interior as well. See, everything's all cleaned up here. The dust and that hair is all vacuumed out, and the soiling from the fabrics was removed. These WeatherTechs look like new. And again, these seats are protected now, and the rest of the interior surfaces with the ceramic coating that was applied. So that'll make cleaning this interior and maintaining it clean like this easier going forward, in case there are spills, food, or whatever it may be. And check out the passenger seat. Big night and day difference again compared to the beginning. There was so much soiling on the seat, and it's all removed.
It is 2014 Honda Civic's all done. As you saw, it looks so good. You saw the results, so much gloss. It's got that bright white deep color to it now. So that deep decon wash, getting rid of all those iron spots on the paint, those orange specks, and all the other contamination that was on the paint. So that deep exterior detail really made a difference. Then the paint correction, of course, the ceramic coating. If we take a look at the inside, as you saw, there was a lot of staining going on. It's all cleaned up now, so the seats were deeply shampooed. All those interior surfaces were cleaned, and now we're left with a really clean, protected interior too. As you saw, I ceramic coated the interior too. So the paint's polished out now. It's protected with the ceramic coating, the 5-year coating with Gtechniq Crystal Serum Light and XOV5. And now the interior is protected as well with the ceramic coating I applied too. So if there's any spills on the fabrics, on anywhere in the cup holders, it's gonna be easier to clean and less chance of staining. Let me know what you thought of the video. It was awesome to see the before and after results. What a transformation on this car. It looks so different, it looks brand new. Take in mind again, this is a 2014 Honda Civic with over 100,000 miles. This is a daily driver, and look how good it looks. So it goes to show you don't have to have a fancy car. You only drive on the weekends to get a ceramic coating. If you've got a new car, old car, it doesn't matter. With the steps that you saw, we could bring it back to life and make the paint pop like this and get the interior all cleaned up. Let me know what you thought of the video. This is David from Southside Detail. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.